YouTube, it is the top 16 of the Meta Weekly every single week. By watching as long as you can, even if I'm on in the background, that greatly supports me through the algorithm, and liking, commenting, subscribing also immensely helps us, so keep on doing that, and we're going to keep on posting these. With that said, Hajime.
There can only be one winner, and you're looking at it. Let's go.
My friend, pureling this up. When do we imperm the Lily. We also have a Maxi ready. Lily's going to be searching for nothing as the imperm negates. Is this a good negate? I'm actually questioning it, because if they already have the My Friend Purely, it's not as good of a negate. But if you let them search for the field spell, you're probably not going to be able to use imperm otherwise, because newly special summon monsters will not be impermable. But the Lily, being a normal summon, could still be imperm, but you probably should wait for its effect to actually perform the exceed summon of targeting a card in the graveyard to then imperm then. Possibly, maybe that would be better than this imperm early. All right, let's go. When is a deck coming out? I'll let you know when it's coming. I'll let you know when it's coming. Pretty Memory, discarding a card to special summon for the deck, but due to us chaining a Maxi, we could change our mind. We don't know if they're discarding until the resolution. We are discarded. We are going in. Purely is going to be looking at the top 3 cards of the deck, adding a Purely card among those 3, giving us another copy of the My Friend Purely. Is now making Assembled Nightingale. What's good about this is it nearly guarantees another turn of you surviving. The opponent's not going to be able to inflict any battle damage to you. Let's go, let's go. It's plan B. Activating it right here, right now. Had we had Impermanence, we could have shut it down. And yeah, that plays into Impermanence. You would maybe want to wait for them to summon a monster and then activate it, thus they can't imperm, or if they imperm early, you then change the imperm. But we're playing against Labyrinth, so not that we knew that, but it would have been a lot safer. Ariana grabbing our Clock discard to make a newly set trap activatable the turn it's set. That's going to be our big welcome Labyrinth, comboed up with the Labyrinth to pop a card in the field, non-targeting as we summon our lovely Labyrinth. We are going to be returning our Ariana, plus pop in the back row, triggering the Lovely to pop a card from the hand. The Assembled Nightingale cannot be destroyed by card effects. Cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. So what's good about this also is it's staying on the field being protected. It can now attack directly and go into a Zeus. Let's go, let's go. So you would want to force them to detach a material so the Zeus would not have double material. We're going to Dimensional Barrier negate Xyz monsters and prevent them from being summoned, triggering the Labyrinth off of a non-Labyrinth trap to summon an Ariana from the hand, searching for a lady. And yeah, it's over from there. Chain the lady to a trap, set any trap we want from the deck, and the advantage is insane. Compulse. OG card being used before Big Welcome was a thing. You can compulse your own monster on the field back to your hand, triggering a bunch of effects. We got Purely randomly off the top 3 of the deck, adding nothing. We're going to be special summoning our Lily searching for the Purely Leap. And I guess it's worth noting, it talks about Imperm stopping the Lily from grabbing a field spell, but it also stopped it from adding the Purely Leap. So that is an additional benefit there. We have the Street, my friend, and a Purely Leap here, as we now go into Plump. Plump is going to be used with the Purely Leap to make the X Purely Nord during the opponent's turn here. And with the field spell equipping onto it the Sleepy, we're going to be able to draw 2 cards during the standby phase. Princess Sprite, mill the top card of the deck, add it to the hand if it's a spell or trap. Torby is not having anything to chain link block here. Ideally, you would hold on to the Torby for when they would activate a quick play from the hand to then chain the Plump to it, but that wasn't even an available play. And this is it. This is the draw 2 combo. Activate the Leap onto the Plump here. No more spell trap cards from either player's graveyard to equip onto it, as the Nord draws our second card. Maxi not so good against Labyrinth, which is another reason, whoa, just not even bothering. The X Purely Nord has triple spin. Spin, 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 which is very likely what we would have done here. The advantage is just too much. We didn't even want to bother. Let's just go to game 3. Ariana grabbing our welcome Labyrinth. We could use it the turn it is set due to the effect of the Coup Clock. Chain the Chandelier Stovey to the Coup Clock to then trigger its effect to add back to the hand or summon itself onto the field here. Lady special summoning because we activated a trap or a labyrinth monster this turn. Directly chaining to our trap. This is when you would want a chain link block to stop this play, as we now can set any trap we want from the deck, being a dimensional barrier, which hard counters purely. How do we stop this? Like, nothing else even matters. Call Exceed, and then add it back to your back row. Call Exceed, add it back to your back row. I guess you have to out Lovely. So how do we out the Lovely without exceeding? We can't use Anima. We could use Azalea. Azalea could pop it. That's something. So they call Exceed, and we have to Azalea. So we have to get 2 bodies on the field, and then on summon, it could deal with the Lovely. And not only are we dealing with Exceed monsters not being summonable, we're dealing with the Welcome Labyrinth, which will pop any card in the field, stopping you from summoning the Azalea, and the Lovely also triggering again to pop another card in the field or a card in the hand. And if you deal with Lovely, let's say Lovely's in the graveyard, congratulations. I then activate Dimensional Barrier, which reborns it back in the field through the field spell. So it's like checkmate. Checkmate, mate. Summon the Lily. Lily activates search in our deck for the My Friend Purely. This is our... Oh, we do have Anima. Bro, we played into Anima. Why did I think that we couldn't Anima? We actually have Anima. So we're going to pop the Anima anyway. Oh. Did we screw this up? We activated Happy instead of Pretty, right? And the Happy would have made the Anima indestructible from the Welcome Labyrinth. Yeah. Damn, we actually had the out. We actually could have protected Anima from being destroyed. Wait, we're not even destroying Anima. We're destroying the Purely before it activates. Huh. Interesting. Because Lovely will pop you, but then the Happy would have protected you from being popped. So this was correct. Pop it before it triggers, then trigger our pop onto the Anima, but then Happy would protect it from being popped. Which, even if we already used a Happy, we could have used the My Friend Purely to grab another one. Reveal 2 plus a non-Happy. Randomly add Happy. Happy protect Anima. You gotta have the anti-destruction to protect your Anima. Because a monster left the field through a trap, triggering the Lovely, Stovey, and Chandelier. Goodbye to the Anima here. And we haven't even had to use our Dimensional Barrier yet. Randomly off the top of the deck, whiffing it completely, adding nothing to the hand here. Flipping up Dimensional Barrier right here, right now, so we could chain Our Lady to the Dimensional Barrier. Discarding the clock to make the newly set trap from the deck activatable the turn it is set, which is going to be our Eradicator. Uh-oh. Eradicate activatable right here, right now. You could have waited for them to activate the My Friend Purely to pay 500 life, then pop it. Oh my Jesus. What the hell? Labyrinth, reborning the Lady. As I said, it could reborn the Lovely if we did have a way to out it. And then recycle our Dimensional Barrier, which we don't even have to do because I think we're just going to win this turn. There you go. Dimensional Barrier back on the field. 7,500 damage on the field. Everything into attack position. And that is game with over 9,000 damage with the recycled Dimensional Barrier continually locking Purely out of Exceed summoning. But again, we almost had it. The Lovely was in the Anima column. Happy had to protect Anima from being destroyed. And someone may be thinking, but DK, the Lovely Labyrinth and the Welcome Labyrinth would destroy the Anima twice. You're wrong. The Lovely would not trigger from the Welcome destroying Anima because Anima would be protected from destruction. Thus, the Lovely would not trigger to then destroy it again. So just protecting it once was enough to protect it from the double destruction to then suck up the Lovely. All right, very well done. We have Droll and Ash. Now, we are safe to Droll off of the ad of the Benki as they are not able to use Gamma with the Wakashi on the field. So let's go for plan B. What is our plan B? Generally, it's Bagooska, but it looks like that's what we're doing. No! We're going Artifact Scythe. Huh? Ash is going to be negating the super heavy, the Wakashi, which also chain link blocks the Dagda from being able to set up a Scythe. So what was happening here is we were needing to directly chain to our Wakashi activating to set a Scythe, as we then make a Super Heavy Samurai Saratobi, which would pop our Scythe during the opponent's turn. Now, Scythe is not as popular as many believed, even myself thought it would be, because it gets Bystialed. Your deck generally is not really getting hurt by Bystial, so instead of just giving them something to Bystial, you just don't let Bystial affect you at all. All right, Wakashi is Bystialable if it does go to the graveyard here, and that completely shut down. Wow, no Scythe set because the chain link block, no Saratobi. Very well done. Fossil Dig, we'll just chain to that to set our Artifact Scythe, which we now chain link blocked our own Ash. You can't Ash the Therizia, but you don't want to. You want to Ash the trap that they are setting. Now, Solemn Judgment protects you from Ash, right? No. It says no to everything but Ash. It cannot stop a monster effect. It could stop an activation of a spell or trap. It could stop a summon, but not the activation of the effect of a monster, nor the effect of a spell or trap. We're going to be activating our Dynamorphia Frenzy, which the Ash will in fact be negating. I hope the Solemn Judgments are in addition to Solemn Strikes, which are great against Ash. We also have the new card Dynamorphia Intact, which stops Ash, which we, I'm sure, played 3 of and just didn't open. As we now make this Saratobi, and the Solemn Judgment says no. Negate. Now, was the Saratobi summoned off of the activation of the Wakashi? No, so we're not locked into Super Heavy Samurai only. Very well done. The Piercer will still be activating. We have used up our normal summon here, as the Bike discards to search our deck for a instant surrender. Very nice. The Motor Bike. If you have no spell trap cards in your graveyard, your opponent surrenders. Yep, it's on there. Also dig it up. We're going to have to deal with DD Crow. DD Crow, really a big deal here. The thing is, when you summon the Dynamorphia Fusion, it's a cost to banish, right? You pay half your life points, the cost is to banish the trap. So if they preemptively DD Crow, you chain to the DD Crow. Otherwise, you can't chain DD Crow to the activation of copying the trap. Let's go. We got Wakashi, special summoning itself onto the field. Benki will be searching, but not yet. We're going to be flipping up the domain, using our deck and field for the Kentragina. This is where the DD Crow would want to be used on the domain, but as we said, it doesn't stop it. We would just chain to it. We're at 4,000 life points, which is very important for the Ferret Flames. Droll and Lockbird, neither player can add cards from the deck to the hand. As we now make a Saratobi, which could pop a back row card in the field. Solemn Strike not only can negate the effect, but it can negate the summon of the special summon. Dynamorphia Frenzy, using the extra deck and deck to summon our Rex Turn. Rex Turn is a floodgate, but a cool floodgate. It is going to disallow the opponent from activating monster effects, not from them. They're not negated, just they can't activate if their attack is equal to or higher than your life points. So to play around this is, you're going to want a trigger effect or a monster with a really low attack. DD Crow, okay, Kentragina, can it copy it outside of the main phase? No, okay, so banishing it outside of the main phase is a play that doesn't really affect us that much. We're going to be chaining the Dynamorphia Frenzy when your opponent activates a card effect with, yeah, that's doing the same thing, sure. Just banishing, sure. Cooler way to banish. All right, let's go. We do not have lethal damage here. 5750 we could poke them down to, and they now cannot activate any monster on the field that's 1250 attack or more. But the Scarecrow and the Scales at 800 attack, as I said, a trigger effect to play around the Rex Turn. Now, what does Rex Turn do if there's a monster that is less attack than your life points? You could change their attack to half of your life points by making your life points halved, but it does not stop trigger effects. Reborn the Piercer, Dynamorphia Domain. We're going to be fusing into double. No, not double Rex Turn. We're going to Kentragina first. 625. Bagooska! Now, Rex Turn stops Bagooska from activating, right? Well, Bagooska has a continuous effect to put the Rex Turn into defense, which Rex Turn does not stop, but the Ferret Flames does. We can just Ferret Flame the field whenever we want. 0 defense. That is an out. That, you know, we may want to save the Ferret Flames for the battle phase. Yep, Ferret Flames it up. You have to spin cards in the field back in the deck until you have less than 625 attack on the field or less. So your entire field, non-target. Just like that, causing a surrender through the effect of the Fair Flames protecting our Rexterm Floodgates. Very well done. Now, the Rexterm was still stopping them from activating monster effects. The Bagooska was not negating. It was only forcing it into defense and stopping it from being able to activate to reduce the opponent's monster to half of your life points, which it doesn't stop, it negates. So a lot of different terms here: disallowing the activation, negating an activation, negating the effect of the activation. We got Droll. Droll, oh, look at that brick. Psyframe Driver you want in the deck. Box you want in the deck. Max Seed, not so good against Dynamorphia. Nibiru, I don't think Dynamorphia through any play whatsoever could summon more than 5 monsters in a single turn. Let's go. Oh my gosh, we got set for pass. What do we have here? We have negate any monster effect, but we have to control a face-up Dynamorphia card, which if we activate one of our other Dynamorphia cards while it's face-up and they activate an effect like Maxi or Ash, we could then Dynamorphia Intact to negate. We have Overroot, which could send a card on the field to the graveyard. Alert, which could reborn from our graveyard, which we have nothing to reborn. Brute, which could pop a card we control to then pop their card, but we have no card to pop. So both players bricked. This is not good. But now we got the 1-card starter, Motorbike. Wakashi is here. Wakashi summoned, set up a Benki. Benki will be making it so Droll Knockbird will be locking them out of further plays. But do we Zeus the field? I think the Overroot will protect us from a Zeus play happening. We're making Saratobi to get popping. Wakashi set up the Pendulum Scale. Goodbye to the Alert, which is just a bluffed back row here. Wipe it out. We have 2800 direct. Overroot's going to be activated in response to the attack, summoning a bike onto the field face down. You could Max C this. If you Max C, you draw 1, which we have double Max C, so we should do if we weren't under Droll. So Droll stopping us from wanting to Max C. Let's go. Dead, 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 dead. Diplos, still not that good. Diplos sending Thyrizia. Wait. If Brute destroys Diplos by popping a card in the field, Diplos activates in the graveyard by banishing a trap to then reborn the Thyrizia, which then sets a good trap from the deck. So we have to use the Brute. And we're doing it. Pop the Diplos, take out the Wakashi, activate Diplos, banishing a trap, summoning Thyrizia, and this is outside the damage step so because it was not destroyed by battle, so we are going to be maxing this just to draw 1, though. Thyrizia set up the Frenzy, and he has the Ash to stop the Frenzy. But we have the Intact to stop the Ash. Let's go. Sonic is also when your opponent activates a spell or trap card, but not the effect of one. Thus, the Pendulum Scales cannot be negated. This will be able to negate, but we're playing against a deck that plays no spell or traps. Therion Regulus is going to be able to negate the Frenzy, but can't negate the Intact due to it being a counter trap. Set it up. Frenzy it up. Ash, negate. Dynamorphia, Intact. Negate. The negate, and Therion cannot chain to negate the negate. Negate the Ash, and then Frenzy follow up into... We can't go into the Kentragina. We have to go into Rexterm. Now, because we're at 913 life, anything bigger than 913 attack cannot activate. Benki, spell a trap card effect, so the Sonic cannot negate. Linking this off into the Scarecrow. Scarecrow can activate because it's at 0 attack. Now, we could activate Rexterm to change the attack to half of 913, thus it would not be able to be activated. But I'm not sure if that would be a good thing to do. Discard Nibiru, reborn the Piercer from the grave. He's going to make Bagooska, right? Bagooska's coming. Bagooska into defense. Oh no. Rexterm to D. But at 0 attack Scarecrow, we can't attack into it. Special summoning, linking this off into a Genus. Genus could take out the Rexterm. Rexterm, during the damage step, could change the attack to half of our life points, but we still lose the Rexterm. It's negated anyway by Bagooska, but we're just lowering our life points. Rexterm, when destroyed, is going to be reborning the Thyrizia. Thyrizia negated by the Bagooska. Let's go. Let's go. We have to link to play around Bagooska. This is where we play Codebreaker. Codebreaker could then just attack over Bagooska, 2300 attack. Codebreaker required 2 different named monsters. I'm not sure. Let me see. Codebreaker is going to be... Do I have a filter on? There, we do have it. We have Codebreaker. Codebreaker, 2300, 2 effect monsters, big enough to take out the Bagooska. You saw it here, just like that. Very well done. Setting up the Frenzy in main phase 2, summoning an Azalea, on summon, send a card in the field to the graveyard, I should say, destroy it. Wow. Let's go, let's go. No Ash in sight for the Frenzy. Frenzy going to be responded to with the Maxi, so I believe we're going to go right into the Rex turn. Rex turn disallowing anything bigger than 229 attack from activating. Let's go. We love Floodgates. Can't make another Bagooska. You probably don't play another one. There's ain't no way. Adding a Wakashi from the deck to the hand. What is our play? Maolong. Maolong could be a play. Maolong being sent to the graveyard, activate, spin the Rex turn back. But we probably don't play it. Dagda is here, ending our turn. Maolong is a card I've been talking about using against Skill Drain and even against cards like the 5 Rainbow. Rex turn is starting to get pounding. 3,000 attack, going to be beating over your cards every single turn, but do you have any outs whatsoever? What is the out to Rex turn currently with your deck? We got Peacemaker. The Psalm Strike is not activatable unless we got the bird on the field. With Dynamorphia Stealth Bird, you could actually activate your Psalm Strike. Huh? That's not a goddess. That's the wrong goddess. It's the Apollo goddess. You can't activate to negate the Rex turn because your attack is bigger than 115. Just like that, swinging into her death. Wow. Now, she could damage step negate, but she's not even allowed to activate. But she, yeah. Oh my gosh. Pot of Prosperity, banishing 6 cards to dig deep. We need Maolong or the other goddess. We're only going to be inflicting half battle damage here. Alert could reborn up to 2 Dynamorphias from the graveyard that equal level 8 or less. Rex term only changes the attack. He could have made a train. Could he have? The train. Where's the train? We don't play it. No, we don't play the train. Get Pendulum Shokaning into pass. Alerting our Thrizia from the graveyard back onto the field here. Yeah, the Super Heavy Samurai Synchro's out the Rex term, right? Rex term can't do anything about a train and defense attacking while in D, because the Rex term can only change the attack. That actually is an out that we don't have. Or the Marusaru. We got Kentra Gina to copy a trap in the graveyard, copying the alert to further reborn more monsters from the graveyard onto the field here. Diplos and Thrizia activating. I believe this is going to be inflicting some burn damage here. 500 damage after resolving its effect. Send from the deck, burn for 500. Do we have lethal yet? No, we don't. We can't even activate the Gaga Cowboy. Our attack is too large. Let's go, let's go. Linking this off into a Scarecrow, which can activate. No, it cannot, because Psalm Judgment says no. Down to 8 life points, that is. 8 life points left. We're going to Pendulum Summon from our extra deck going into a Masquerena. Big enough to take out the Thrizia. Okay. What do we do? Off the top of the deck, we have Frenzy going in with Kentra Gina for game, changing the attack value of the Masquerena down to 4 attack by paying half of 8 down to 4. Lethal damage. Now, it is worth noting. Let's talk about this real quick. This is important. If you wanted to not lose to Dynamorphia, we have the Rex term, and then we have the train, the Choo-Choo Train, or the other one. Because this is in defense, it does not activate. It could just attack. It's continuous effect, allowing it to attack while in defense. The Rex term could only change the opposing attack. So one of the main ways to deal with Rex term is battling into it, but then it does have that counter of changing the opposing attack, but not the defense. So unfortunately, not having that play, do consider playing this to out the Rex term, or the Maru Saru, if I'm saying that correctly. All right, good job, Dynamorphia. So what does this do? We got Big Welcome, okay. And the Whitebeard is going to be able to summon a monster from the extra deck based off the attributes you have on the field or in the grave. The good attributes are going to be, Dark would be ideal if you have a Plunder to discard to then banish a monster. You could even have Fire. Fire would be good if you want to banish, get rid of back row, that is. And the Jord is very good if you have an Earth monster, because if they then special summon, you will then set up the ability to have a Plunder to discard for your Mowork to banish a monster on the field. So let's see if any of that comes into play. We have the Oviraptor Imperv Negate, which this is scary because you just chain Miscellaneous Source, which is at 3, limited to 1 in TCG, and then it's unaffected from the impermanence. So as a Dino player, YD Abin's got to be pissed. I know Abin's thinking, you messed up your impermanence, but you're still being rewarded. But Bahu maybe was thinking, I didn't mess it up. It's a high risk, high reward. I calculated the risk, and I believe that this was the better play. Because think about this, if you don't imperm now, and they do have Miscellaneous Saurus, when are you going to imperm anyway? Imperm is different than Ash. Ashing this is what I believe Bahu would have not done, because you could Ash the Miscellaneous Saurus, but the imperm, you know, you just got to take the risk. Pop the baby with the brand new ground Xeno. We're going to be chaining Maxi to the baby, and we're going to be triggering the Meteorus to the effect of us destroying a card, and then we're also activating our Whitebeard to summon what? A Jord or a Mowork. Chaining Maxi to your Whitebeard. We're on Chain Link 5. Chain Link 6. You're negating your own Maxi, by the way, to negate their Maxi. Uh-oh. Negate. Your Maxi and Mike's Maxi are both negated. This is going to a Jord. The Jord's going to be important if you special summon, which you just did, which will trigger the Jord to summon the Redbeard and add a Plunder from the deck. So now we could really go in. This is good. Redbeard will go into Mowork, which will banish any monster in the field, which we have to do on resolution before they make a Baron de Flor. This is a crazy duel. Baron de Flor, as soon as we're in an open game state, is going to be able to negate that play. Toggle on, let's go. Toggle on is the only way to play around this. Summon the Mowork, discard the Whitebeard. Ooh, banished the Miscellaneous Source, not the level 6 tuner, so they're still going to be able to make a Baron de Flor. Whitebeard activating, or will they? If we use the Big Welcome Labyrinth to summon a Lovely, Lovely is going to be popping maybe the level 6 tuner here to stop that Baron de Flor play. Returning back the Mowork back to our extra deck, summoning a Golden Hair from the deck, triggering the Lovely, taking out the level 6 tuner, but we're going to follow up with a double Evolution Pill, banishing a Dinosaur and the Maxi to summon our ultimate Conductor Tyranno, which can attack every single body on the field. Let's go. Wiping out the Lovely, dealing 2,000 damage, attacking over the other two. Send them to the graveyard through card effect. And then we have open field attack with the Oviraptor. Now, this was not called by the Graved. It is still activatable. And we do have the Ultimate Conductor Tyranno to flip the entire field of opposing monsters face down, non-targeting. So let's see how that works out. We have the Plunder Patrol Shipyard, which could discard any card to search our deck for a Plunder. Goodbye, Mac. Goodbye, Ash. Grabbing the Black Eyes. I love Black Eyes. We're going to be special summoning itself on the field by returning a Plunder card in the graveyard back to our hand. Being responded to with the Maxi, unfortunately. Now, we're going to be waiting with the Ultimate Conductor Tyranno because we do want to play around the Blackbeard. There needs to be 2 monsters, including a Plunder Patrol, and we're going to flip them all face down as soon as they get that second body on the field, which is now. But first we wait for the Whitebeard to summon a body from the deck, then we flip all 3 monsters on the field face down. Get flipping right here, right now. Scoop it up from a full field flip. Ultimate Conductor Tyranno is one of the coolest boss monsters ever. And I wish Konami went down that route of making more boss monsters like Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. Instead, they make cards like Baron de Flor, which is replacing cool boss monsters like Ultimate Conductor Tyranno, which, funny enough, Baron de Fleur is now being used in dinosaurs because of new dinosaur support. What the heck, Konami? We got Whitebeard, set Imperm Pass. It looks bad, but it's not that bad. It will be able to be summon a Plunder from the extra deck, depending on the attributes the opponent has. We're hitting them with the Draw and Lockbird, no more adding cards for you. So if Oviraptor's not adding, what is it doing? It could send a card from the deck to the graveyard instead. Imperm on the Oviraptor will be met with a Miscellaneous Source play this time. Yup, unaffected. But as I said, when else would you Imperm anyway? It's not similar. It's not like Ash, where you would want to save the Ash for the Miscellaneous itself. Sending a Giant Rex from the deck to the graveyard, we are banishing just one card, Miscellaneous, summoning the Archosaur, which cannot activate to add an Evolution Pill, reborning the Giant Rex, special summoning the Meteorus in response to a card being destroyed, now making my favorite dinosaur, Baron de Fleur. Goodbye to the Whitebeard as we attempt to summon from the extra deck nothing, as the Baron de Fleur negates. Yeah, that was our last opportunity. With before the Baron de Fleur, we had to Whitebeard, summon Mowerk. It's just like, does it really matter? Baron de Fleur will negate whatever we summon anyway. So did we really even make a mistake? I would say so. You discard Whitebeard, summon a Redbeard, and then, Well, no, we Mowerk and we banished. We can't banish because the dinosaurs are unaffected. Miscellaneous screwed us. Really screwed us. Miscellaneous making us unaffected from the banish effect of Mowerk, no good. And Ash negate. Now the Plunder effects, because in addition to banishing and negating and getting rid of back row, they also search a card, they're all ashable. Not quite done. We have only just begun. We got the Torby and the Whitebeard, which is going to trigger the Whitebeard to summon a Plunder from the deck after setting up a Big Welcome Labyrinth. We have Black Eyes and Golden Hair going into our Jord. The Baron de Fleur already used up its negate, so we're going to be adding the Black Eyes in the graveyard back to our hands, setting up the Jord into our back row, returning it back in the extra deck to summon a token onto both sides of the field. Now Black Eyes will return a monster from the graveyard back to our hand to special summon itself onto the field, as we can now link this up into the Blackbeard. Blackbeard could draw a card plus special summon a Plunder from the extra deck. We now have the List. List can negate a monster effect. We're going to use the Golden Hair to discard. We're going to use the List to special summon a monster from our back row. Blackbeard is back on the field here. Goodbye to the Oviraptor. Are we leaving up that token? No, we are not. Let's do it. Blackbeard during the opponent's turn. We could summon a Mowerk. Yes, Mowerk is coming. The Oviraptor is dark. And we do have a discard for the Mowerk. We also have a monster negate. We could negate the Baron de Fleur from trying to summon a monster from the grave if we want to. Not doing so. We are using the Ground Xeno to add a dinosaur, then pop the baby. We could negate the baby pop. Do we negate it? No, we're not negating the baby effect with List. We're going to use the Blackbeard to special summon a Jord, drawing our Big Welcome Labyrinth here. Oviraptor being special summoned, triggering the Jord to then special summon from the deck and add. So we're going to add a Plunder Patrol Shipyard, special summoning our Whitebeard here. Whitebeard could go into the Mowerk. Big Welcome Labyrinth is going to be used with the List to special summon a monster from our back or our hand onto the field. Now the Miscellaneous will make our dinos unaffected, but we are going to negate the effect of Miscellaneous so that your dinos in fact will be affected by our newly summoned Lovely Labyrinth. Yes? Whitebeard going to go into the Mowerk for the ability to banish a monster on the field. So we have banish, we have pop. Okay, we have the ability to banish, and we have the Lovely being summoned from the deck here, right? Lovely. Return a monster back. Trigger the Lovely to get poppin'. Don't pop the baby for them. Baron de Fleur could pop the baby if you don't deal with the Baron de Fleur. So do we deal with Baron and the Oviraptor? Oviraptor is not protected. We're just going to banish the baby directly with the Mowerk. Goodbye to the baby, and then get poppin'. Chandelier add back to the hand from the graveyard because a monster left the field through a trap effect. Torby is going to be summoning onto the field. Popping the Oviraptor. Miscellaneous banishing a ton of cards in the graveyard to special summon a Miscellaneous from the deck, triggering the effect of the Giant Rex to then exceed into a Dugaris. This can draw 2, or reborn from the grave, or double the attack of the Baron de Fleur. What are we doing? What's the play? We are doubling the Baron to floor for lethal damage. What the? Dude, we can't stop this? Ain't no way. I've never seen Baron to floors attack a doubled. Okay. Wow. Bahu had full control of that duel. He was going to win it, definitely. But that doubled attack of Baron to floor for game. Oh my gosh. That's crazy. Opening up with the pot of E, limited to 1. Give us that draw 2 play. Hold up. What the heck is that? That is Waybridge. Huh? If your opponent controls 2 or more monsters, 2 or more than you do, your opponent must send monsters they control, so they only control 1 monster. This is interesting. This affects the players, not the monsters. So if the monster's unaffected, the player still has to send them to the graveyard. Okay. Interesting. We have Runic Fountain, limited to 1. Following up with the Flash Fire, you want to make sure that the Flash Fire is used on a separate chain link, not in response to the Runic Fountain. Otherwise, you would not be able to activate the Runic Fountain. Returning the Flash Fire back in the deck to draw 1. We now have Big Welcome Labyrinth during the end phase here. In response, special summoning our Lady Labyrinth to the Max C. Draw 1 less card off of our special summon. As we summon from the deck our Lovely, returning back Lady, triggering the Lovely to pop a card on the field or in the hand. If we try to pop the field spell, the Huggin will protect it. We also are summoning our Lord of Heavenly Prison in response to the resolution of a trap to then set any trap from the deck we want. Our Eradicator Epidemic Virus. Again, this is during the end phase. We cannot use the Triple Tactics talent. Wiping out the Huggin return. Trap Trick is going to make it so we can only activate 1 more trap for the rest of this turn. Setting up a Terrors of the Overroot, which could deal with the Runic Fountain. Okay. Back into the extra deck we go. Our final trap. We're going to set a Maxi onto the field, getting rid of that limited to 1 Runic Fountain. Within the end phase off of the Max C, because you special summoned a monster onto my field under Max C, we're going to be summoning our Gary. Gary is going to be adding the Runic Fountain in the graveyard back to our hand. Very well done. Discarding because we have too many cards in our hand off of the Max C. Eradicator Epidemic Virus, looking at the hand, destroying all spells and newly drawn cards. We are also Lava Goleming the Gary and the Max C, chaining our other Max C to the Lady activation to summon itself onto the field into defense. Now, Lovely can recycle a normal trap in the graveyard. Drawing under Max C allows us to see every newly drawn card to check if it's a spell. Using the Big Welcome to return the Lava Golem I gave you back to my hand to trigger the Lovely to pop a card on the field or in the hand. Bystial Magna Hut activating to grab a dragon during the end phase. Do we take out the Magna Hut? No, we're taking out a random Max C. Battle we go, wiping out the Magna Hut. We still have not recycled a trap in the graveyard yet, which we are now doing with the Terrors of the Overroot, which will send a card in the field to the grave. We have double Waybridge on the field. I'm not convinced of this being a good card. We're adding a newly drawn Lubellion. Lubellion discard, grab a Bystial from the deck. Double Bystial it up. Druiswarm banishing the Gary to come forth and summon. Send it to the graveyard to special summon our Lubellion, triggering the Druiswarm to send the Lovely on the field to the grave. We're going to use the Terrors of the Overroot to send the Lubellion on the field to the graveyard to special summon a Maxi face down, chaining our Lady to set a trap from the deck, which will be our Welcome Labyrinth, usable next turn, not this turn. We don't have any Coup Clock plays. Set Maxi. Very nice. Druiswarm, say goodbye to the Lovely. Now, Welcome Labyrinth can't summon Lovely from the grave. Only Big Welcome can. May we play a second copy of Lovely? Potentially. 2 Royal Lovelies? I doubt it. You don't play 2 Lovely Royals. No way. No way. Are we about to see it? Setting up a Big Welcome from the deck. Welcomes, I mean, it would be better to summon Ariana anyway. Ariana, grab Coup Clock. Coup Clock is, oh no, we're not Coup Clocking with the Big Welcome to summon Lovely. Interesting. We got the field spell instead. I want to see Waybridge be good. Show me the way. Baldrake banishing. The Lovely, which, you know, if we activated the Big Welcome, we could have chained Bystial, banished the Lovely. Possibly our only Lovely is gone forever. There's no way to recycle it. Regain gone, still under the effects of the Eradicator Epidemic Virus. Attributing the Baldrake to summon our Lubellion. Lubellion could still set up a Branded Beast. We're going to be using our Big Welcome, chaining our Lady to it. Are we setting up a clock or what? We have regular Welcome. The field spell will take out the Lubellion on the summon of our monster, plus returning a card back to our hand. Goodbye to the Lubellion. And we just have Lady Beatdown. Welcome being triggered to reset itself onto the field off of a monster leaving the field through a trap. And just like that, lethal damage with no way to stop it. Finish him. It's like blinding. It's all royal. It's all royal. He's not cheating. I promise you, I think I'm like 99% sure Haas Drachen proved that they were rich through gifting me 50 subs, which means their full royal deck is definitely legitimate. Oh boy. We got Lava Golem for whatever field we set up here. Let's speed this up since the opponent has no hand traps. Very well done. As we add a Baldrake during the end phase, let's see what we have here. We have the Curses for a monster negate, plus it could trigger the Runic Fountain and return itself back in the deck to randomly draw another hand trap, possibly. Got Baldrake banished, we got Maxi, which is not that good. Maybe we Maxi early because we feel like the Golem could be whipped out at any moment. It doesn't activate, so you do want to Maxi early, and we did get Lava Golemed in game 1. Cards that we lost that are banished. We lost our Limited to 1 Extravagance. Not sure if we play more than one Dogmatic of Punishment because we do play a card like Trap Trick, which encourages you to play cards in sets of 2. Let's go. Did not Lava Golem because we would not be able to set or normal summon our Ariana. Curses is going to negate her, banishing 3 cards off the top of the deck, losing a Limited to 1 Royal Rivalry of Warlords. Using the Runic Fountain to return a card in the graveyard back into the deck to draw our Runic Slumber, which could have disallowed the Ariana from attacking if we cared. As we now set up our back row. We have negate a monster effect or special summon. We have summon a Labyrinth from the deck. We have Tears of the Overroot to send a card in the field to the graveyard. Now the Runic Fountain is protected from being destroyed, but not from being sent with Overroots. We have Flash Fire, special summoning our Hugin on summon, discard a card. No, we can't actually do that because we only play 1 fountain, so that's no longer a play. We're going to be using the Welcome Labyrinth, chaining a Maxi in response to that Welcome Labyrinth. Not caring to Solemn Strike it, by the way. We're saving that Solemn Strike for a better monster effect. Runic Slumber, just to banish cards off the top of the deck and trigger the fountain to return to draw 2. Got Smiting Storm to banish 1, 2, 3, 4 cards off the field. Ariana wiping out the Hugin, Hugin recycling itself back into the extra deck here. The Lady is completely untargetable and indestructible. We have Terrors of the Overroot, directly chaining to the Overroot because we did not chain link block it through an effect like Baldrake or Maxi. This is going to deal with the Runic Fountain, sending it to the grave. Now, the Runic Fountain could be recycled with Gary. But we have Eradicator, which is going to eradicate all of our spells. Now, you could, in response to the Eradicator, let's say you have the Runic Fountain, special summon a Hugin. Hugin will protect the fountain from being destroyed by the Eradicator. Send to the graveyard for our Lovely from the hand tribute summon, resetting our Overroot from the graveyard to send a card in the field to the graveyard. Special summoning our Lady, not caring to use Solemn Strike again. We are saving it for something good. What is going to be the good effect monster effect to negate? We have Eradicator. Look at the hand. We're going to chain Smiting Storm. Now, if we special summon Gary, add back the Runic Fountain, it's protected from the Eradicator. The Eradicator is only going to destroy right now and not destroy cards that are added, only cards that are drawn. We're also going to use the Called By onto the Lovely. We have a way to stop that? No, we do not. That's possibly Lovely gone for the rest of the duel, likely not playing another. Smiting Storm, summon our Hugin, not summoning Gary to recycle our Runic Fountain. Huh? You used Hugin to protect the Smite Storm on the field that was already going to the graveyard? What? The heck was that? Maybe we did that on purpose? Would we do that on purpose? I don't know. Quem send a card from the deck to the graveyard that mentions Fallen Albaz. Going to be negated by the Solemn Strike, finally using it. Baldrake banishing the Lady from the Grave to come forth and summon. And our battle phase is skipped, but Maxi forgot that. As we now use Terrors of the Overroot during the end phase to send the Baldrake to the grave to special summon a Maxi from the grave face down. Also chaining our Lady Labyrinth to set a Big Welcome from our deck. Now, Big Welcome, while it could summon a Lovely from the grave, it cannot interact with the banished Lovely. We have a ton of cards randomly banished due to our runic cards. We have Welcome Labyrinth being triggered due to a monster leaving the field through a trap effect. Now, to battle we go. Beat down Lady. Untargetable, indestructible by card effect. You cannot use Flash Fire onto it. Ash will be negating the Big Welcome. Now, Big Welcome will double up as Disruption with the Lady on the field, with the ability to quick effect spin any card in the field, including back row, back to the hand. Lady also continually setting more traps from the deck, gaining so much advantage in response to any of our trap activations. What does the Golden Sword Soul do? Double Big Lady. Double untargetable, double indestructible, can't Dark Hole it, can't Flash Fire it, newly drawn, newly destroyed due to the Eradicator, ending our turn to 6,000 damage on the field. Let's go. It loops Ecclesia. Okay, yeah, that would be cool if we could do that. Lethal damage. All right. All right. All right, all right. Let's go. 2-0. We do have Maxi to keep Ignister in check. Are we going to be able to end on simple disruption here? I don't think Ignister can really do that. Oh, return that Branded Fusion back in the deck. Set the impermanence and pass. All right. Got Fusion Deploy. We got Branded High Spirits. Fusion Deploy. Reveal a Fusion. Summon a Fusion material from the deck going into the Cartesia, which will play around the Infinite Impermanence. We're going to send the Mercurier to grab an Albion from the deck here. We are now going to use the Albion to send from the deck a Retribution to draw a card, and we're going to chain Cartesia Fuse into the Imperm, negating the Cartesia Fuse. Very well done. So before the Albion is leaving the hand, you fuse with it. That's a very good play. That's something you should write down. We now have Branded Loss with no play to play with it. Wipe out the Achichi, keep the Branded Beast into the hand because it's not usable. We really don't have anything. So, how do you beat Branded? You look at their hand with TTT and return Branded Fusion back to the deck, and then you win. Good job. They got nothing. Branded has been thwarted. Perfect. Dark Infant into the Ignister Island, into the scoop. Yep, you definitely should be scooping there. Let's go into game 2. Kit, normally, ideally special summon if we have an Albaz Fusion in the graveyard, but we do not, so we're going to be adding a Branded Fusion and then returning a card back to the deck. Now, does Droll stop Branded? Let's see how much we could do under Droll and Lockbird. We're going to be sending from the deck to the graveyard Lubellion and Albaz to make an Albion. This is where I would tell you, if you have a Bystial or a DD Crow, you're in a good spot, because they're committing to a single Albaz play that if it were to get banished in response to the activation of the Albion, they kind of get screwed up. So that's one way to stop them. Have it play Bystial, banishing the Kit and the Albaz to make Lubellion. Lubellion is where the Bystial or DD Crow will not be able to counter the play, but they need to summon Albion to get the Lubellion from the deck into the graveyard to make a better play. So it's a bit risky to do this. Discarding Foolish Burial. This is if you were Biggie, you would be quite afraid knowing that their hand is pretty damn good, where they would be discarding a Foolish Burial over everything else here. Tributing to summon our Bystial Lubellion, and we have our Nibiru before the Lubellion activates to set up a face-up Branded Spell Trap from the deck. We're going to chain Mirjade to get an Albion Fusion into the graveyard, or I should say any Albaz Fusion, and then it will be activating during the end phase. So even through a Droll and Nibiru, I think Branded is still perfectly fine. They're not losing. Getting a Titan Clad into the graveyard, which could summon a Quem from the deck. All right, goodbye to the Lubellion. Mirjade into the grave. Mirjade can activate to wipe out the Nibiru, but do we actually wipe out Nibiru? The field spell requires you to have no monsters in your main monster zone, and if they don't play Security Dragon, this could be annoying to get off the field. They probably don't. Transcode is 2+ effect monsters. You can't Splash Mage it off. It just sticks there, but not for long. We're just going to wipe it out for him. Titanclad summoning Quem, as we said we would do, getting a branded sword into the graveyard, which could add a banished kit back to our hand. We also have Retribution, which is going to be able to negate the effect of Special Summon. Now, does this negate the field spell? Let's read it. Spell, trap, or monster effect is activated that includes the effect of Special Summon, so you would think it does, but it doesn't. It cannot negate the field spell Special Summon because it is an effect of Special Summon, not the activation of the card that Special Summons. Fusion Duplication, copying the branded fusion, as I said, will just fuse during your turn. Sending a Cartesia and Albaz to Special Summon our Albion Sanctifier Dragon, but this is only good if we have a card in the hand so that we could summon Albaz to then fuse with the opponent's field to discard a card. We don't have a card to discard, but we do because we planned 3 steps ago that our branded sword would add the kit that we could discard with the Albaz if we summon the Sanctifier with the set duplication during their turn. Some good foresight there. Also triggering the Quem to reborn a Mirror Jade for non-target monster banish. Yeah, I think he's screwed. We do have Retribution if we wanted to. We're going to use Banishment instead to reborn the Albion, then fuse with either side of the field. Fusing with the Circular and the Quem to make a Quiritis, which could reduce the opponent's field to 0 attack. Cynet Mining, discarding the field spell, grabbing our Achichi. Achichi is here, a good combo starter for Ignister, grabbing our Picari. Mirror Jade's going to banish before they make the Link 1 to grab the field spell after discarding a field spell. At the start of the battle phase, we want to play around evenly matched. We're bluffing that we have it, we don't actually have it, so we're going to summon a Sigma onto our field and then block your field from using impermanence. Even this also stops Ignister inherently because the Ignister Island requires them to not have a monster in the main zone. That's ridiculous. We saw this last week, I believe, stop a Martha from being able to summon because they blocked the field from using Martha or evenly matched. Hey, Nibiru is back, but it is in defense. We have Triple Tactics Talent to draw 2 cards here, hoping to get lucky. We already used up our normal summon as we now scoop it up. Max C in the draw phase, disrespecting the Gamma, but we know Ignister's not playing Gamma. This is 2 duels in a row where we see Ignister can't do anything to Max C. That's probably why the deck is not that popular. You Max Seed me, I Max See you. I make sure to do it in the draw phase, thus your Triple Tactics Talent's not activatable, but I have Cross Out and Called By, whatever I would like to use to not even care to negate, because I don't care. Quem is going to send from the deck to the graveyard in Albaz. If a card leaves the extra deck, if you were to link 1, that will trigger the Quem to reborn the Albaz to then fuse with your link 1 to then make a Mirror Jade to then banish another monster. We also got Super Polymerization to fuse with your field. Alrighty. Quem will make the TTT activatable to take control of the Mirror Jade at least. Ooh. We're going to not use the extra deck to not trigger the Quem, to go into the battle phase to just get hit by a Super Polymerization. Let's go. Fuse with the field, giving us a Garura. Garura wants to be sent to the graveyard to draw a card here. Circular sent from the deck to the grave. Sigma is going to get Called By negated. You will not be triggering the Circular to add another card from the deck to the hand. Quem is waiting to be triggered to then allow us to use the TTT. It's going to happen. Special Summoning Addition, triggering the Circular to grab an equation. And now the Quem gets triggered. I mean, this is public knowledge. We know Quem will summon Albaz to fuse with our Splash Mage. It's out in the open. Come forth. Albaz. Discard. Mirror Jade. Now, the hard ones for turn effect of Splash Mage had not been activated yet. Now we got the TTT to draw 2 instead. We're not taking control. We're going to try to brute force through the Mirror Jade non-target monster banish. I meet you, but we already used up our normal summon, so we're going to grab a Gachiri here. Gachiri, come forth and special summon. Does Gachiri get special summon if the monster targeted gets banished? Let's read that. You could, let's read the effect right here. negate its effects, and if you do, which you can't do if the Mirror Jade banishes it, special summon this card. So, no, it does not summon. Goodbye to Circular, and Gachiri, no summon. We do have Cynet Mining. No, we have nothing. We're done. All right, Branded Despia advancing to the top 8 to no one's surprise. Thank you, Biggie, for trying. But you got Max Seed twice, right? Yeah, you kept on getting Max Seed. Motorbike, Dewey Ash. Oh my gosh, you disrespect the Gamma. You get hit by the Gamma. No Gamma? How are we not Gamma? What are we holding Gamma for? Are you toggled off? Like, toggle off? What are we saving the Gamma for? Are we making a Lambda? Saving it for Droll? Huh? How are you even gonna stop Droll if it's in your hand with monsters on the fields? What? Gamma is Baron to floor. Like straight up instant Baron. When is it gonna be usable again? I would like to know from the player what happened there. Wait, we ended up not even summoning Lambda. Ain't no way. Popping the Super Heavy Samurai. We have Stealthy. Stealthy, Ingenious equals Lambda. Let's go. Ain't no way. What a crazy turn 1 play, and we're not done. We're gonna draw 2. We'll talk about this field in a bit. Please don't surrender. Okay, now you can surrender. We have Gamma, which is activatable because we control a Lambda. So we have negate a monster, negate anything, negate anything, negate anything. That's 4 disruptions so far. We have Dweller, which can completely turn off the graveyard, so you're not gonna be able to activate anything there. That could turn off Retribution, trying to add back a Branded Fusion. And let's go. Yup. Cards cannot be activated in the grave, including non-monsters. Branded Lost. Okay, we're going to negate the activation of Lost, not the effect. If you were to activate Therion Regulus, the Branded Lost would still be on the field. It would not be negated. It'd be a huge mistake. So it does matter what you use to negate. Baron to 4 negates the activation and destroys. Borreload negates the activation but does not destroy. Therion negates the effect, does not destroy, thus it cannot be used in the damage step. So they're all 3 differently negating. All right. And Therion also leaves the field on the negate, so it can't be impermanenced. So they all have their advantages and disadvantages. Baron to floor with the negate, destroy on the Cartesia, get rid of it. We're trying to soldier through. Druid Swarm, banish our Cartesia. Ghost Spell, negate the effect to banish a card from the graveyard. No summon for you, and even if you were able to summon it, you can't activate its effect in the grave to send a card in the field to the graveyard. Good job. Nacer, pretty much first turn killing. All right, we are fusion deploying. We're going to be dealing with a Droll and Gamma. Do we Gamma? Yes, we do. Called by does not work against impermanence nor Gamma. Now, Cartesia will fuse with the Albert, but it is still negated. So we're not going to be able to Droll because we are no longer adding. We did use up our normal summon. The Quem does compete with the Albert for the normal summon here. So it's not ideal to have Quem and Albert. We have the Gangrenol being in response to the Gamma special summoning a Cyframe Driver, special summoning from the deck a Maximus, also getting an Albion into the graveyard here. And now Cartesia's adding back during the end phase. Albion setting up a spell or trap from the deck. All right, we are sending from our extra deck the Walla Lilith and the Albion and Titanclad. Titanclad summon a Quem from the deck, and the Quem's going to send from the deck to the graveyard. We're also going to be adding from our deck to our hand in Albaz. All right, we're good. So what is our disruptions here? We have Quem, which could reborn a properly summoned monster, which the Albion was not, nor was the Walla Lilith. But we could summon an Alibur from the graveyard if we want. It could summon a Despia or a Fusion. And what else can we do here? We have Retribution, which will be able to negate an effective special summon. Now, the Wakashi is an effective special summon, but the Retribution cannot negate that because it is the effect of a spell, not the activation of a spell, nor the activation of a monster effect. So that does not work. Branded Beast is dead, and Called By could be used on the Piercer for something. So let's go. Special summon, setting up the scale, searching our deck for the Piercer. Piercer summon, this is where we use Called By. Called By, Banish, negate the search, and the interaction with the Scarecrow to being able to discard and reborn. So what happens when you add a scale, or you have a scale in your hand? You discard it with Scarecrow, but you actually cannot discard any of these Super Heavy Samurais right now unless you have another one in the graveyard to reborn. So if right now, if you were to discard Wagon, reborn the Wagon, you know you're playing in the TCG. All right. We're going to booster, equip onto the Wakashi, come forth and special summon. Let's now synchro into Stardust Dragon. Huh? Stardust could stop Retribution if it were not a counter trap, so it cannot. We are Pendulum summoning onto the field our Wagon and Scales. Scales will be chain link blocked by the Wagon, so you cannot use Ghost Bell. Back onto the field our Booster, not a Piercer since it was stopped with the Called By. We now have Peacemaker. Peacemaker not equipped onto the Scarecrow. That's kind of interesting. We're going to special summon from the deck our Motorbike. Motorbike is going to change the level of the Scales to 6 to make our level 8 Synchro. Excel Synchro Stardust to get Retribution Dawn, negate and destroy. Be gone. No Baron de Floor for you. Now, we could have, instead of doing this, we could have just put the bike and the Stardust into a Baron de Floor just like that, thus playing around the Retribution. But, you know, we want to have Stardust and Baron de Floor. Scarecrow, discard, reborn the Booster. You know, you didn't use the Scarecrow yet, so it makes sense that we did not send it to the graveyard with the Peacemaker. Bagooska, everything to D, which, theoretically, this is great against Branded. With the Fallen Albaz, it's not an out unless they have a Super Poly. Let's go. No out. Let's go. Let's do it. Retribution, recycling the Branded Fusion, the graveyard back to the hand. Plan B is here. Every monster on the field that's not a link is forced into defense and is negated on activation. Albion negated, so we're just going to send it to the graveyard to summon our Lubellion, forced into defense, cannot set up a Branded Spell trap, but the Branded Beast will send Lubellion to deal with the Bagooska, but the Stardust Dragon can attempt to negate, right? But it's negated by the own Bagooska. Bagooska negates Stardust from negating the destruction. Ain't no way. When a card or effect is activated that would destroy a card in the field, you can negate, but then Bagooska negate your negate. Mate, we're gonna try it anyway? We're not. Okay. Cartesia, special summon. Albaz is now going to fuse with that Stardust. Rip. There was a point in time, maybe 15 years ago, where summoning Stardust turn 1 and passing was a great turn 1. Tragedy, recycling our Branded Fusion to be used next turn. Maximus sending a Garura and a Titanclad. We're going to draw a card and end phase, use Titanclad to summon a Quem or add an Albaz monster. Let's get swinging. Main phase 2, setting up the TTT. Albion setting up a Branded in red, which could go into a Chimera to wipe cards up on the field. We're going to add that Albaz. And let's get to it. Branded in red in the draw phase. Maxi in response. We're going to be summoning a single Chimera to wipe up the Scales. We're going to draw 1, pop 2. Let's go, let's go. Chimera is here. And if they have nothing to chain link block with a Chimera, you could draw an Ash. Ash can negate Chimera from popping your Scales. No Ash. Draw 1, pop 2. But we got Wagon. With the Wagon, we could grab Piercer. With the Piercer, we equip it onto the Wagon that's now banished by the Mirror Jade. Wagon cannot add if it doesn't go from defense to attack, so Mirror Jade just completely stops it. All right, let's go. And just like that, lethal damage attacking directly with a Branded in red summoned monster because it only disallows it from attacking directly the turn it is summoned. Let's go to game 3. Let's go. Full power Super Heavy Samurai. with no real way to stop it. Piercer is in Earth, so the Bystials are no good against Piercer. If you want to beat Branded, they could either brick or you could first turn kill them with a field like this. Return back of the deck, draw 2. Now we got something. Negate, 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 anything. Triple negate plus the gamma negates. And the gamma could summon once the Therion uses up a negate by tributing itself. The Dweller is stopping anything from activating in the graveyard. No Retribution, no Bystial activations. Let's go. The Dweller is making the Thrust activatable to add a Branded Fusion, which will probably just get negated. Calm of the Grave is good against Therion. So Therion will tribute itself to negate the Fusion deployment, but it will then get fingered. But then we have negates for the finger. Calm of the Grave, negate the Therion from negating, as the Borreload negates the negate. Saronir is going to try to sneak itself onto the field here as the Gamma negates the Saronir. Baldrake chain special summoning in response to the Gamma. We have a second copy of Gamma. The same Gamma cannot activate to summon itself, but the other copy can. Ain't no freaking way. But then Saronir's not negated, so Saronir will summon. Okay. Negate. And then Saronir is great. Come forward, Saronir. Sure. All right, you have another Gamma in your hand. Thus, Called By is finally negated. So what do we have from here? We just have Baron to Floor. We used up all of our other disruptions here. Baron to Floor, plus we could not activate cards in the grave. Oh yeah, we also have Ash. Don't forget the private knowledge Ash. We're only talking about the public disruptions here. Let's get to it. Saronir wiping out the Dweller here. I was thinking of a crazy mind game. You are able to summon Lambda very easily and do full combo before they could use Droll and Lockbird on you. You would pass on a search, make Lambda, and then you can make a great play. It does require an extension, but what that means is when you make Lambda, the opponent's not going to use Droll because you obviously have Gamma, right? What if you don't have Gamma? What if you just make Lambda and then they don't use Droll because they're afraid of Gamma and then you do full combo? That's something. That's something. So your opponent has to be kind of smart enough to not play into the Lambda, but because they're smart, they're getting outplayed by themselves because you don't even have Gamma. Come forth, Regulus. We got Wakashi, so it's activatable to use the Bank Key to search our deck for any Super Heavy Samurai. Special summoning Ash here to now make an Apollo USA. With medium thickness at triple negate 2400 attack. We got Wakashi locking us into Super Heavy Samurai only, special summoning of Scales to reborn a monster from the graveyard to then Synchro Shokan into the Saratobi, which can attack twice with the Soul Horns equipped onto it. Double attacking, equipping the Peacemaker. What does Peacemaker do exactly? Yeah, it says that the monster it does nothing. It does nothing. Double attack with the Saratobi. Saronir sending from the deck to the graveyard. Nothing that matters. And just like that, we have lethal damage. Super Heavy Samurai winning it all. Knocking out Branded Despia by making essentially a first turn kill, turn 1, both duels. Special summoning the Terror Top to then search our deck for the Take Tomborg. Did we all forget that the Zodiacs got unbanned? I think we forgot about that. It was fun for a week or two, and then it wasn't fun to get Max Seed or to be playing Garnets, and it looks like everyone dropped it, and now we're playing Terror Top. Is it going to be the same thing, where we're going to stop playing this because of Max C? And just like that, Salamangreat doing what they do, being a Salaman decent deck with just a single Omni Negate and nothing else. All right, can you play through one Negate? We got Cricket, which is not going, it is going to be negated. Salamangreat Roar, negating the Cricket from special summoning up to 2 Naturias from the deck. And because you didn't negate with the monster effect, I can't use my triple tactics talent. All right. Blessing can reborn the Cricket, and then we could use it again during the next turn. You're right. There's another disruption. It's hidden. It's the Promethean Princess. If we summon or special summon, it's going to summon itself onto the field and destroy our summoned monster. That is something. And yep, does not miss the timing. Cool. Sunlight Wolf attempting to recycle our in-grave Omni Negate. Successfully doing so, we're going to be responding to it with a Natura Blessing, summoning our Cricket from the grave, which we could chain Promethean to try to summon. Now, how does Promethean respond to multiple monsters being summoned, which is happening right now? Let's read her. I think she pops just one of them. If monsters are summoned, you could target one monster that was summoned to pop it. Okay, so pop one off of multiple summons. We're also going to Chain Impulse, special summon a Rescue Ace from the deck. Also Maxieing. So do we not summon Promethean now? Because Maxie is going to be draw at least 2. Drawing off the Impulse into a Fire Attacker. We now have Sunflower, which can negate twice. Do we negate or do we let them summon then draw? I think we're going to lose if we don't negate. We have to negate. Mill the top 2 to negate. We chain link blocked our own negate with Camellia, so we ain't negating. Okay. Send in the Sacred Tree. I mean, couldn't Camellia just reborn it back onto the field here, so we didn't actually have to negate? Your opponent special summons, you or normal or special summons, you just reborn it back on the field. All right, let's go. Sacred Tree triggering, chain link blocking with the Camellia. Droll stopping you from adding with the Sacred Tree. Gazelle also being triggered from a Salamangreat leaving the field. And we are going to have our double negate back in the field. But the way to stop it is all you have to do is attack into it. That's it. Otherwise, it's double negate. Now, the Fire Attacker triggers to draw 2 and discard, but not under Droll. So, you know, a lot of things are happening here. Gazelle does not add. It sends the deck to the graveyard. We activated, even with the Sunflower on the field, for a free negate, mill the top 2 cards of the deck. It does have another negate. Bailing's protecting from being destroyed. Jack Jaguar is going to attempt to summon itself onto the field as we use our final negate. We're just scooping, all right? It's for fun. Shelmy, respect, 8,200 damage on the field. Lethal damage with a crazy way to play Salamangreat. I love it. Terror Top Promethean Princess. This is the way. Damn. Maxie Droll. What are we doing here? Flashfire into the Maxie to be drawing a card off of the special summon of Huggin. We don't have a way to trigger our Runic Fountain to draw additional cards here, so this hand is not ideal. This is not good. Discard that Maxie, grab the Fountain. They would not want to Droll because it would turn off their Maxie, but maybe they're done because they already drew 1 card off the special summon, and they don't even have any other ways to add cards anyway. No Droll. All right. What a horrible turn 1. Bricked. Damn. Just nothing. Dead Blessing. Maybe Maxie and Droll could keep us in the duel, though. Droll, disallowing them to add any more cards from their deck. Balinx tried to search. Foxy could have searched. Foxy going to attempt to pop the Fountain. Huggin could protect as it's doing. Gazelle plays under Droll by sending from the deck to the graveyard. And Sunlight Wolf can add from the graveyard. So we have a lot of plays while under Droll and Lockbird, and maybe that's why this is the time to play Salamangreat. We don't really need to add from the deck. We're adding from the grave. So just use Droll to stop an opponent's Maxie or any other deck, and then make your plays. Transcode Talker, and then, you know, not even just your own Droll, just the opponent Drolling you. We don't care. We are making our Decode Talker Heat Soul. We can't draw because of the Droll and Lockbird. And that is lethal damage. Access Code Talker plus the Transcode Talker. Untargetable Access Code Talker, by the way, because it's linked up with the Transcode Talker. And just like that, discard the Maxie, negate it with our Ash. Maxie can't draw because of Droll, by the way. So it in fact doesn't even do anything. And just like that, Under Droll and Lockbird, Shelmy, lethal, damaging. Beautifully done. So I just want to repeat, if we didn't Droll them, if we Max Seed them instead, they could Droll themselves by Drolling your Max C and still make the same field lethal damage. Very well done. Advancing the top 8 with Salamangreat. Branded in high spirits, reveal the Mercourier to send a Albaz Fusion, plus send the Mercourier to the graveyard to grab from our deck to the hand. And Albion Shrouded Dragon, sending a Retribution from the deck to the grave. What does Quem send? You want to be predicting their plays. They don't have Branded Fusion. They have a Retribution in the grave. She will send Branded Fusion, then add it to the hand. Let's go. Very nice. Now let's go. Albion's going to be giving us a card that Fusion summons to trigger the Branded Loss to search our deck for a Mercourier during the next turn to be a monster negate. Plus we have a non-target monster banish. And if we Super Poly send the Mirror Jade to the graveyard, that's going to trigger the Quem to reborn the Mirror Jade after it activated to banish a monster to then banish another monster. So we have a lot of disruption. Disrupt, 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 disrupt. That's 5 disruptions, and maybe we summon a Dragostapelia with the Super Poly, which is 6. About 6 disruptions. Let's get to it. And we actually have even more. We could send... No, we're okay. This is it. Ariana, grab the Coup Clock. Clock sent to the graveyard to make a newly set trap activatable. Chandelier, discard Impermanence to set up a Labyrinth card from the deck. Maybe the Field Spell here. Field Spell will make our big welcome our welcome even more effective. Popping a card in the field, non-targeting. Just like that, you would want to toggle on if you wanted to respond to the set of the card before it's activated, but then they could chain to you doing that. So, you know, not that big of a deal. There is a play, though, where, you know, if Alpha also has their toggle on, they could toggle on set activate before you could Super Poly. But if they don't have toggle on and they're just setting, and you have your toggle on, I know I'm getting a little weird here, you could Super Poly if you were able to within the window of Branded Loss protecting your Fusion summon monster. You could somehow get a Borreload on the field if you chain fuse within the window of being protected. Get a Borreload. Borreload could pop the Welcome Labyrinth or the Field Spell before they could even activate it. So, you know, that was something. But it's dependent on Alpha having toggle on or not. We're going to be sending Albion to banish the Ariana. Okay, as we summon a Lovely to pop a card in the field with the Labyrinth. Taking out the Super Poly, non-target. You don't choose the card, then the opponent responds with wanting to activate it. It's gone. As soon as they choose, it's gone. Branded Banishment, reborning the Albion, Call by the Grave, stopping the Branded Banishment. Labyrinth is putting up a great fight. What is left here? Mirror Jade's been used. Branded Banishment's been stopped. Super Poly is gone. How are we going to move a card from the extra deck to trigger the Quem? Recycle a trap from the grave. Our discarded Imperm in the column of the Branded Lost. Alpha, that was very well done. Good job for you on that play. I thought you would have been decimated. Albion negated due to the called by. And let's see what we can do from here. Lubellion setting up another card from the deck. Not only are we negating the Lubellion, but also turning off the Branded Lost. All right. Now, if we have a way to get Tragedy into the graveyard, we could recycle the Branded Fusion. Coup Clock being triggered to come forth and summon onto the field. I should say the Labyrinth being triggered to summon a Coup Clock. Coup Clock cannot use its effect while on the field, but it could be returned back to the hand with a big welcome and then be discarded. Grabbing a Mercourier with the Branded Sword, adding back a banished Albaz monster. Big welcome, special summoning Ariana, returning the clock, popping the Mirror Jade with the Labyrinth, triggering the Mirror Jade to wipe out the field during the end phase, triggering the Lovely to pop a card in the field or in the hand, triggering the Ariana to add from the deck to the hand, Chandelier because a monster left the field, add back to the hand, Welcome Labyrinth, set itself onto the field. Which we could use the clock to make it activatable the turn it's set. Yep. Could use both effects on the same turn. Lady is special summonable, so we could summon Lady, discard clock, activate welcome, chain the lady to the welcome to set a new trap to be used next turn. Randomly pop in the Droll. Droll be gone. Ooh. Now, you got Tragedy in the graveyard to recycle your Branded Fusion, but Branded Fusion says that if you perform an extra deck monster that's not a fusion, you can't even activate the Branded Fusion. So Branded Fusion is illegal to even activate. So what does Anaconda and Lovely do? You could send Super Poly from your deck to the grave. Yeah, we're gonna recycle Banishment instead. So a cool way to get Tragedy. Sending Fusion Deployment, revealing the Gangrenol to summon a Cartesia. Goodbye to the Lovely during the end phase due to the Mirror Jade. Special summoning Our Lady. We're going to be using Called by the Grave onto the Chandeliers, disallowing him from setting up a trap from the deck. Is not allowed the setup of another Big Welcome. Now, because we don't have Big Welcome on the field set to be activated, we instead have it in the grave, which will be able to spin any card in the field back to the hand. We are dealing with a Mercurier that's not activatable to negate a monster effect unless we have an Albaz Fusion on the field, which we could get that through Banishment. Let's see what happens. Activating Welcome Labyrinth, which on resolution will non-target destroy any card in the field. We're going to chain Banishment, summoning Mirror Jade. We're going to be chaining to the Banishment to set a trap from our deck, and we're chaining Big Welcome to spin a card on the field, spinning our own Lady back to our hand. Huh? Okay, we're dodging the Banishment. That's why. We don't want to be fused with the Banishment, so that's why. Return it back so it does not get fused with Banishment. Sure. And then we could pop the Mirror Jade on summon unless he fuses with it. Let's see. Using with the Anaconda and Cartesia into a Gangrenol. And now the Welcome Labyrinth with the field spell is going to be wiping out the Mirror Jade. Mirror Jade will not activate to wipe the field again because it was not fusion summoned. Ariana being triggered on summon to search our deck. And okay, yeah. All right. We're going to be adding a kit with the effect of the Branded Lost, adding our Welcome Labyrinth, Garura being sent to the graveyard, draw a card, and the Mercurier is not activatable because this is not an Albaz monster, not an Albaz fusion. Lady being able to be special summoned, triggering the effect of Gangrenol to summon from the deck a Quem. Quem sending from the deck to the graveyard an Albaz. If a card leaves the extra deck, we could reborn the Albaz, or with the Rinbrum in the grave, which was sent to the grave through the effect of Mirror Jade or any other effect that would get it into the graveyard. It's going to reborn the Albaz, then fuse with the opponent's field, but the Lady's untargetable, but the Albaz does not target. Get discarding. Untargetable Lady is being fused into a Lubellion. Some people play just one Mirror Jade. We're going to be reborning that Mirror Jade anyway with the Quem. All right. Very nice. Look how unstoppable Branded is. Kit free special summon. Add back the Branded Fusion. Return back in the deck a card. We have the Branded Fusion play of summoning a giant Titanclad. Titanclad at 4,000 attack, unaffected from extra deck monsters, triggering the Quem to reborn the Albaz. And due to the Branded Lost, you cannot activate anything in response to this summon. No chain. Nothing. Nada. Adding an Albion, which will draw a card. We're going to draw a card by sending an opening. Opening. Protecting our fusions from being destroyed by the Labyrinth. Allure of Darkness, draw 2. Goodbye to that Mercurier. Our Monster Negate is gone, but it will now be activating to grab another Albion, which we already activated this turn. 14,500 damage on the field, 14,000. Welcome Labyrinth, summoning Our Lady, attempting to pop the Titanclad, protecting it with the Branded Opening. As we said, banishing the untargetable Lady off the field. Big Welcome is going to get negated by the Ash as the Crossout Designate will negate the negate. And within this battle phase, we could Super Poly for even more damage. This is disgusting. Negate. Big Welcome, summon Lady, return back the Lady. Lady could then summon itself onto the field since we don't have a Mercurier to negate it. It's only at 2,900 defense, enough to block the kit. Unless we super poly with the lady, we are not stopping the kid's attack. As we now have a Dragos Depelia, over 14,000 damage on the field. You can't stop Brandon. You have to first turn kill them, or they have to brick. That was a duel. That was a duel. Ban Grass? Where was Grass? Oh gosh. Dogmatic Punishment and Welcome Labyrinth. We could pop a card in the field plus pop another. Early Max C. We could draw the Max C if we want to. Allure, draw 2, banish Serenir, normal summon Cartesia. We're going to chain fuse with the Albion in the hand before it's returned to the deck after sending a Retribution, making a Gangrenol. Gangrenol could send a Serenir, which could send a Branded Fusion, which could be added to the hand through Retribution. Doing exactly what I said. We are under Max C, though, and we're doing quite a bit of special summoning. Adding that Branded Fusion. Probably not going into Albion or Lubellion because of the we are. Even under Max C, we don't care. What are we doing? Albion activating, chaining the Droll to the Albion so you will no longer be drawing cards through Max C, but that Nibiru is coming. How many summons are we on? 1, 2, 3, 4? 4. 5 after Lubellion resolves. Now we're on 5. And we were late to draw the Ash, by the way. As we said on the 5th summon, we are discarding Nibiru, not summoning it, but we're still going to tribute the fields. Interesting. Okay. No Nibiru, but goodbye to the field. You could also do this with Bystials, by the way. You could Bystial activate to banish a card from the graveyard, then chain discard it, and it will still banish. Oh, the Mirror Jade wipes it out during the end phase anyway. Sure. Yeah, okay. And then, And they also don't get a token. Triple Tactic Thrust getting negated. You will not be setting a banishment from the deck or a Fusion Duplication. Fusion Duplication would have been pretty good there to copy the Branded Fusion during the next turn. Welcome Labyrinth getting ashed. You are not going to be setting up a Lovely to then protect your big welcome from Ash. All right. Big welcome in the draw phase, summoning our Ariana to return it back to then normal summon it. Triggering the Chandelier and the welcome to set itself onto the field and add the Chandelier to the hand. We could then, a Coup Clock play is not going to be that big of a deal here. Ariana on summon, searching our deck for a Torby. Now we got Torby and Chandelier in play, ready to be recycled every single turn. Chandelier discarding the Torby to set up a Welcome Labyrinth. Now, if we activate our Welcome Labyrinth, we could pop a card in the field non-targeting. Branded in red, add the Albion, and you don't have to fuse. You could pass on the fusion, which we did. Albion sending from the deck an Albaz to draw a card here. Drawing into a Harpy Feather Duster off the top of the deck. Wiping out the back row. Welcome Labyrinth in response to the Harpy Feather Duster, summoning from our deck a lovely Labyrinth. Goodbye to everything. Can Labyrinth allow you to destroy your own card here? You can destroy one card in the field, right? So destroy Ariana, trigger Lovely, pop a card in the hand. Wouldn't that be the play? Huh? Activate, destroy one card in the field. Yeah, if we wanted to. Big welcome, return back Ariana to trigger the Lovely, to pop a card in the hand, to also trigger the Chandelier, Torby, and Welcome Labyrinth. It's a spell? No, it's a spell that gives the trap the effect to pop a monster on the fields or a back row. But if you pop a monster with the spell giving it the ability to do so, that does trigger the Lovely. That is a surrender, somehow defeating Branded Despia, taking this into game number 3. YouTube, unfortunately, the final duel of the last match reached time limit, or a DQ happened. Alpha is advancing into the top 8. And with that, I bid you farewell, as we're going to be starting the top 8, starting off with Labyrinth versus Dinos. You do not want to miss it. Make sure you check out the next video being posted tomorrow, unless you're watching this video late. Thank you for supporting me. We are out.